We have here with us a distinguished speaker, a digital marketer with an expertise in content strategy, paid media, e-commerce marketing, and social media marketing. She has worked with notable brands like Radisson, Ibis Hotels, Canadian Tire. I'm also proud to mention that she is an alumnus of Reva and has also secured a post-graduation degree in digital and content marketing from York University, Toronto. Let me welcome Ms. Shilpa Pradeep. Dear participants, you can post your questions to the resource person in the Q&A box after the session. We'll take up your questions once the resource person ends their talk. Now, without much further ado, I request the resource person, Ms. Shilpa Pradeep, to share her insights on the topic, social media marketing. We look forward to hearing from you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just looking to share my screen, right? Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. So, as you heard her say, we would be talking about social media marketing for educators. I will not be focusing just on social media marketing for educators. I would be talking about social media marketing in general, different platforms that we have, and platform-wise marketing. And also, we will look into what is content strategy, personal branding, what are the trends and challenges that we are facing right now. Yep. So anytime you guys have a question, please make a note of it and then we'll discuss it at the end. So the first and foremost thing that we would be looking at in this session is what is social media. I mean, we spend hours a day scrolling through our phones, watching videos, consuming content basically on multiple platforms. But we've never really looked into what is social media and why we use it or what is its purpose. So social media, by its literal definition, goes as a means of it acts as a means of interaction among people where they can share, create, and exchange information and ideas in virtual communities or networks. So it's virtual because we all know that nobody is really as close as we see them to be on social media platforms. And what started out as, just some, like, for example, Facebook started out years ago, decades ago, as a means of uh, staying in touch with your, say, college friends or people that you knew in the past. And today it's become more of an e-commerce platform, more of a monetized platform than it is social media. So like we will also look into evolution of different platforms here and why and the way it exists now compared to how it was when it was just launched. So what is the purpose of social media? So like when you look at purpose, there are a lot of different perspectives here. So for example, if you and I, as general consumers, we use social media as like a form of entertainment to take our minds off of the regular things that we do. For example, if you are an educator, you use social media basically to let off some steam, to consume content, and for example, if you are a marketer, you use social media. I mean, it actually takes all the fun out of it. So you end up using social media to in your research. Like it actually becomes your working platform. And for brands, it is more like a means of to promote themselves, to promote their services, their products. Again, it's become a more commercial platform to them. So the main purpose of social media, however, it was to bring people closer. So today it's evolved into bringing people so much closer that we are starting to call social media platforms or people you people on social media platforms as a community. Like if you take like about 10 years ago, community was just a people, group of physical people that you knew, that belonged to you with common interests or common beliefs. But today it could be anyone from India to Toronto to all over the world. So the whole purpose of it is to bring people closer together. And for brands, I cannot imagine how they were marketing before the social media age on traditional platforms and still manage to reach so many people. Because when you start marketing on social media platforms, the opportunities that come to you are huge and immense, because you can literally reach out to people from all parts of the world, and you can sell whatever you want to sell, and there's no limit here. And here we would also be looking at personal branding. So we would be talking about personal branding in general and personal branding for educators and in education. And so what are the different types of social media marketing? So any kind of marketing has two different types, that is organic and paid. So organic is something that happens like naturally. For example, you uh, focus so much on creating good content, be consistent with your content, and then you post them online, you engage with your audience, and then you try to build a following. That is organic. So because you're not directly investing any amount of money into gaining followers or gaining any sort of engagement. So what happens in organic marketing is you get your whatever your return on interest is, whatever your ROI is, you get it organically. Like you get your followers organically, and then you get your engagement, you get your reach, everything organically without having to spend any money on getting those things. Particularly, you might end up spending money on content that would indirectly help you gain traction, but yeah. And different the other type of social media marketing is paid. So as we all know, like right now, I think uh, almost all the platforms have almost all the platforms have uh, you know paid or sponsored ads. So for example, if you're scrolling on Instagram, you see a lot of ads. Like it depends on your interests and what you really like, because ads are targeted and carefully curated to your likings. So like the sponsored content that you see on social media platforms are paid ads, and that is another type of marketing. It is mainly used by brands and people who want to promote themselves across platforms for services that they provide or for the product that they sell. So yes. So next one, here we'll be looking into exploring different types of content, different types of channels, because when you look at it, we have a lot of channels. We have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter or X, we have LinkedIn, we have Pinterest, we have YouTube, we have ChatGPT, a lot of platforms. So choosing the right one for you is very important, because for, because the content that works on Instagram most definitely will not work on LinkedIn, or the content that works on Twitter will not work on Pinterest. So you have to understand who your target audience is, what is it that they like, and that use the platform that will help them. And before moving to target audience, you will have to have a specific goal in mind as to what is it that you're trying to convey. Like, do you have a specific agenda in mind? Do you have a specific service that you want to market? Do you have a specific product that you want to sell, or do you just want to be a content creator or an influencer? So it depends.
Sorry to disturb you, Shilpa. Your PPT is on.
Yeah, you guys oh,
It
you're
is
not able
not
to see?
visible. Is it visible to others?
No,
No,
actually.
actually.
Uh,
Oh
Can you
Oh, can you
reshare
shit.
it
reshare
once?
it once?
You guys said something
Said
similar.
something similar.
Yes.
Yes.
How about
How
now?
about now?
I think
I
you have
think you have
shared
shared
your
your
screen.
screen.
Okay, right
Okay,
now?
right now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
now it is
now
visible.
it is visible.
Okay.
Okay.
So the
So the
previous
pre
slide that I was talking about was this, where we addressed four main questions that we'd be looking into in this presentation. What is social media? What is its purpose? What is personal branding and different types? So right now we'll be looking into exploring different channels. Like I mentioned, what works on one platform might not work on the other. And it also depends on who your target audience is and what is it that you are trying to achieve by going online and putting content on social media platforms. So yes, so here I will be sort of going back and forth between social media marketing in general and also for educators. So on Instagram, we know that visual content shines on Instagram because Instagram, when it just came out, was mainly to showcase your work in a visual format. For example, it was a great platform for photographers, graphic designers, painters. It was all things visual when it just came out. There was no stories, there was no reels, there were no IGTV lives or anything, but just pictures. So that's how Instagram came into existence, and then people started using it, and then brands sort of adapted to it, and that's how the platform became huge, and people started monetizing out of it. Um, so one of the main things that actually work well on Instagram is Instagram carousels and also reels. Uh, like we've seen that everybody is kind of hooked on to Instagram reels or TikTok videos because they're like the lifespan of that reel is small, and I mean to say it's just 30 to 90-second video, and you get a lot of information in that 1.5 minute gap, 1.5 minute that you're sparing to consume content on Instagram. And however hard you try, it is difficult for you to get off of the platform and focus on doing like your work or something. So I can say that it is very addictive. uh, Talking from a marketer point of view, it is very very useful for us to market new brands, like if especially if they're launching something new or if it's new in the market. And coming talking as from an educator point of view, it is, I mean, if you want to brand yourself as a teacher or as a professor who wants to talk about uh, like the subjects that you teach or the topics that you are interested in on social media platforms, I think putting up videos or any kind of content on Instagram would be a big hit because your target audience is not limited to a classroom of students. It goes beyond. For a lot of people, it reaches beyond the country. So I think it is a very good platform, especially if you want to brand yourself, if you're into self branding. And coming to Facebook, however, people don't really use Facebook unless they are looking to buy something, they're looking for houses or something. So long form content really works best on Facebook. And I wouldn't say Q&A or live sessions would be as effective on Facebook, but it depends on what you're trying to convey. It depends on your audience as well. If your target audience is students, then I would suggest not to go ahead with Facebook because not a lot of, I mean, Gen Zs today don't even have Facebook accounts, so it's a huge waste of time. But if you're trying to brand yourself as an educator, like creating groups, moderating group discussions, and joining a community of educators, joining a community of any kind of content creators for that matter is big on Facebook. For example, when I moved to Canada, uh, Facebook was the only place that I used to look for houses here because the sense of community or the sense of uh, like people usually post things on, say, Facebook Marketplace, or there are so many groups that you can join to make friends, or to, for example, to find accommodation. So in that way, Facebook works really well if you have something to offer. Twitter, we use Twitter mainly to, send out live updates about an event that's happening. You can most certainly use Twitter to market, uh, uh, market any kind of event, or anything that you're coming up with, like your live sessions, webinars, or any like events like this, like the faculty development programs, etc. And it is a great way of keeping in touch with people who are unable to join them, unable to, or who are not able to join the ongoing sessions. And one of the best things that you can do on Twitter to keep your audience engaged is Twitter polls. Especially, I mean, we see Twitter polls especially during election season, because a lot of polls are going on. We have polls on Facebook, we have polls on Twitter, we have polls on LinkedIn. So, but I think Twitter polls are most effective because the people that you would reach on Twitter is far more broader than Facebook and LinkedIn. Yes, coming to LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a very good platform if you want to showcase your journey, your professional journey for that matter. Or if, like, for example, say you are an educator with 10 years, 5 to 10 years of experience, you've seen a lot of students come and go, and with each and every class that you teach, you learn something. So, like, something that stood out in a class today, or someone, like one of your students who have been doing really well, or who got an internship, or any sort of achievement, LinkedIn is the place to show some appreciation to your target audience, which could be your students. And again, LinkedIn is a great way of staying in touch with, like, talking for educational institutions. It's a great way of staying in touch with your your alumni, and a great way of building alumni network. Pinterest. So Pinterest, people have mixed feelings about Pinterest because you don't get a lot of traction immediately like you do on Instagram or Twitter. But one of the best things that work on Twitter is to be as consistent as possible. Pick out an aesthetic, pick out like a color palette or something that works for you, that goes well with what is the goal that you're trying to achieve, and start putting out content consistently. It has to, and you cannot post more text heavy content on Pinterest because it's all just pictures and visual content. And again, if you want to market on Pinterest, it is very important to choose the right set of audience, because when you're marketing on Pinterest, it can be a little confusing. I mean, the ad platform could be a little um, hard to learn, or it's not as easily accessible as other ad platforms. And YouTube, if you are an educator, YouTube is a great way of putting up your lectures online, or talk about something that you learned online. Because, I mean, especially when I was studying, when I did not understand something that was going on in class, or when I did not understand something that I read, YouTube was the way to go. And a few years ago, I was preparing for my net exam, and YouTube is where I basically took courses from. So it's a great way of putting up content, and you get students from across the world to come listen to you teach. And I think it's a great way of uh, you know great way to improve your branding, at the same time do something that you really love. So we spoke so much about different platforms, and how what things go work best with different platforms, um, and how to market them on those platforms. But the question is, where do we start? Because starting trouble, like, it is very hard to get over, and but once you start, there is no looking back. So where do we start? The first and foremost thing that we do is create a profile dedicated to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So you have to have a clear set of goals in your mind. what it is that you want to achieve. Like if you are, kind of branding yourself as an as a professor or as just a content creator, it is important to stick to that one thing, stick to your niche, because you can't be as general as possible here on social media platforms, because everything at the end of the day comes down to what your niche is. So choose the right platform for you, again what works best for you, and don't forget to complete your profile with bio, links, headshots, etc. Especially if you're using the one thing that you have to keep in mind with bios is uh, everything is search engine optimized today, and all platforms at one point you will be using it as a search engine to look for people, to look for specific hashtags, to look for something relevant. So make your bio as catchy as possible and use the right keywords in it, so that when people look for you, you would be the first one on top, and that people don't have to scroll through search results to find who you are. So the better your bio is, the better keywords that you use, depending on your niche, the better, the higher your chances of getting, or ranking top on the search results. Define your goal and target audience. As I mentioned, having a goal and target audience is essential, because if you're just putting out content and you don't know who your consumers are, you don't know who it is that is actually going to interact or engage with your content, it's a huge waste of time. Like, unless you have an open account, just so, and you don't want to focus on anything, it's good. But if you have a clear set of goal in your mind and you're putting out good content, it is very essential to cater to the target audience, because the way we consume content is different from generation to generation. So what works best for me might not work for what is best for, say, people who were born in the 1990s. So the right messaging, the right wording is very essential to reach your target audience and present your content or service. So if you are trying to brand yourself as a content creator, like just a regular content creator or an influencer who is going to talk about all things random, there's no particular niche, well and good, you can do. Or if you just want to talk about your journey, it's fine. You don't have to um, put so much effort or focus so much on it. But if you are branding yourself as, say, a marketing expert, or you have specific set of services that you offer, then it is very essential to put them out there so people know that you do this kind of work along with your 9 to 5 job as well. Because a lot of educators today, especially when it comes to communications and marketing, um, they go beyond their regular 9 to 5 jobs. They do consulting, they freelance. So if that is something that you're interested in, then it is very, very essential for you to market the same on different platforms as well. So now let's look at social media strategy in general and social media strategy for educators. So social media strategy is nothing but storytelling. So because every single brand, every single person who posts on social media, even you and I who have private accounts, we have something to share. We have a story to share, and every single picture or every single story that we put up has some sort of story behind it. You don't randomly go around clicking picture and then decide to upload it. I mean, every action that you take has some sort of motivation or some sort of story behind it. So it is very essential to tap into that storytelling and then move forward from there. Because, for example, if you take any brand for that matter that you follow on Instagram, there is a specific storyline that they're trying to achieve. There's a specific thing that they're trying to convey. There's a specific call to action that there is at the end of every single post or every single story. So it is very important that we focus on that. So again, create and curate content related to subject matter or your teaching approach. So if you are an educator who want to brand yourself as a professor, brand yourself as a teacher, uh, it is important to create content on your subject matter, like depending on your subject matter expertise, and develop a content calendar and plan your posts in advance. This is extremely important if you're really serious about your social media platform or social media marketing, because right now I'm consulting with a lot of small businesses here in Canada, and right now we are working on holiday content that would be going up in December and January, in October. So it is essential to plan your content well in advance, and also give a little bit of buffer time to add in something new or trendy if they come up. Because with social media platforms, with marketing online, it is um, like you can say that it's unpredictable. Like no matter how prepared you are, there is something that might not go according to your plan at the end of the day, or there is something better that might come along. So it's always essential to have that buffer time to for you to create something that is trendy, or use a music or use a filter that is trendy, and then using it on your platforms. And again, to brand yourself as an educator, excuse me, it is essential to focus on key events and academic milestones. So I do follow a lot of educators, a lot of professors online. So one of the best things that they do is they keep up with the academic calendar. For example, I think December, when I was studying at Reva, December was the exam season. So start focusing on, say, creating content for exam season, as to, like, study tips, or uh, like anything that would help your target audience or your students with their exam preparation. So those are the kind of things that people would actually consume, that people would actually like and share, because it is relevant to them. And again, you can share educational resources, for example, your articles, research papers, book recommendations, educational tools, etc. So, and especially to share educational resources, LinkedIn groups or Facebook groups are like work really well, because a lot of people can access the same thing uh, and like when it comes to Facebook groups, everything is so niche. uh, everyone comes to that group with a clear intent in mind. So there is no browsing, there is no wasting time on Facebook groups. So you come looking for a specific resource, you get them, and then you go ahead, you share the same thing. So that is how it works. And again, as I mentioned, teaching tips, like as an educator, you don't necessarily have to cater to just students. You can cater to a wide range, like teaching community is huge, and you can cater to all of them. So because, like, especially how it works in marketing is, uh, like the way I do things might not be same as how my colleague does it, but there is always something that you can learn from your colleagues. So like putting up teaching tips, or like teaching strategies that work for you, or might work for someone else across the globe, is really helpful to build that meaningful connection with them. Student highlights, like just how brands put up their sales or something exciting happening with them. uh, you can put up student achievements, projects, or success stories that you have done. So a few years ago, I was volunteering during my summer vacation in Telangana at a college, and one of the things that I unknowingly did was put up my journey as a student, that 1 month's journey as teaching to plus one, plus two kids. And it was, I mean, the amount of people that connected with me, asking for uh, like asking about my journey, asking about how I landed that internship, or how is it that I coming from being as a student, how I ended up teaching other students, like it was huge. And kids who were following me, who are still on my followers list on Instagram, like the students, and they like putting up student achievements, they really loved it, and it kind of like acted as a catalyst for them to do better, because the teacher is going to feature them on their social media platform. Like it is very exciting. At the same time, you will have to, like, with it also depends on the volume of students that you have. um, like engagement posts, ask questions, conduct polls, quizzes. I think Instagram is a great way of doing this, like using this particular strategy, because it gives you stickers or tools to do all of them. You can ask questions, you can conduct polls, like you can run quizzes and encourage interaction from students that are in class, that are uh, probably who are studying the same thing at another university. And again, event promotion, like about events, webinars, workshop, and conferences. For example, Sudeshna ma'am put up a post on LinkedIn about this particular event, and I ended up sharing it. And the amount of impression she would have gotten, and adding with the amount of impression and reach that I got, uh, probably would have resulted in people knowing more about the university, more about this particular faculty development program, and more about the topics that we would be talking about across these 7 days. So, using these platforms with the right and clear intent in mind uh, could be a game changer. The next thing we'll be looking is using social media in teaching in classrooms. I know that using any kind of technology can be considered as a distraction, but using them in your classrooms might actually work wonders. Because when I was in university here in Canada, that is what I mean, most of my assignments, most of my in-class interactions were on social media platforms. So one of the best ways to use social media platforms is to engage your students in it. For example, uh, what you can do is say, you have 10 minutes left in class, and you can put up a question, or you can ask your students a question and ask them to answer the same thing on LinkedIn. If it's something very technical, ask them to answer it on LinkedIn in the form of post with a specific hashtag. For example, the course code could be your hashtag, and like you can grade them later, going searching the same hashtag and going through the content that going through the posts that come up. That is one of the best ways to include social media platforms in teaching. Or if you're having a debate in classroom, like if you have two opposing ideas, you can do a Twitter poll to see what people think of it, or people who is mostly in favor, or who is winning the debate. And yeah, and also, if you don't want to use these particular platforms in classrooms, you can also use this platform called Kahoot. So it's like, if you want to have a quiz in class, but you don't want to use pens and papers, or you don't want people to be cheat in class or something, Kahoot is an excellent way. You can, like, it's more like Google Sheets, but a more fun version of Google Sheet. Yes. So, and also a lot of educators have this concern about people using ChatGPT or any other AI chatbots in their assignments. I know that I personally did it. So one of the best ways to uh, like avoid your like help your students avoid using ChatGPT or any other AI chatbots is to give them questions instead of like a WH question. You can ask them like for a critical analysis, or uh, like questions that need their take, their opinion on things, so that they cannot depend on anybody or any other AI tool for their opinion. So it has to be their own. So like you can use those chatbots to sort of understand or get more uh, insight as on the topic, but at the end of the day, the opinion would be theirs, and they would not be technically using the chatbot to do their assignment for them. We spoke so much about creating content, content strategy, and content for educators and in education. So now let's look at building and engaging with the content and how we measure the success. So just as we start putting out content and be consistent with it, you will see a raise in followers. Like it does not happen overnight. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of time. So like it is essential to be patient and at the same time put in your efforts on platforms so that you're kind of nurturing the brand, nurturing yourself on social media platforms. And engaging with the audience is key part that most brands don't really focus on, because engaging with the audience on social media platform, it's mostly technically called as online reputation management. So it involves, answering to all the DMs, all the messages that you get, and also answering, like engaging with people with their comments on your posts, on your videos. So like engaging with the content improves your engagement rate as well, technically speaking. And at the end of the day, you end up making meaningful connection. And uh, studies have shown that people usually prefer brands that engage with the consumers than just act as a platform where they just put up content. So when you're engaging with the customers, you're showing them that there is a human being behind this particular account, behind this particular screen, who is taking the time to read whatever you're putting up, read your comment, read your DMs, and answer them accordingly. And I think one of few brands that I really admire in terms of engaging with the audience is Toyota. No matter what question you ask, no matter even if it's just a random thing that you send, say hi, how are you? It might be an AI chatbot at the end, in the end, but you get a reply from them, and you can ask them literally anything, schedule calls with them, and they usually put you in touch with your nearest dealership if you are looking to buy used cars or buy cars in general. So that is the kind of audience engagement that people is looking for. So it is very, very essential to engage with your audience who is already taking the time to engage with your posts. Measuring and analyzing success. So measuring is mostly like grading papers here. So like no matter how much effort that you put into your content, no matter how much time you spend creating content, if you don't uh, take measuring and analyzing your the data that you get out of the data, in the sense how your posts are performing, how your brand is performing, or how your account is performing, then there's no point in you having an open account and putting so much effort into it, putting so much effort into creating content. So at the end of the day, uh, everything comes down to how everything is performing, like how we are analyzing. Because measuring and analyzing success, or measuring and analyzing the data that you get, shows you what is actually working with your target audience, what is it that you want to improve. Sometimes it shows you the right keywords or the right target audience that you have to use. If you have ever used an open account on Instagram, if you just go to view analytics, you will see people, like where you're getting most of your traffic from, what is it that people are searching, like how is it that people are coming to you organically, what is it that they're searching, like the search term that they're using, and also which post is like, sorry, which post was most engaging, meaning where did they spend most of their time on. So there are a lot of tools that would help you get more deep insights. But if you're just starting out, if you just want to brand yourself out there on social media platforms, start off with using tools that are on the apps itself. so that it'll help you understand how analytics actually work, and then you can go on to using paid tools. So the next thing that we'll be considering is security, privacy, and ethical considerations. Security and privacy are huge when huge today, especially in the digital age, because as educators you have to prioritize privacy and security, because you're a human being as well and you don't want people to be nosy in your life. So it is very very essential for you to be separating your professional from the content that separating your personal from the content that you're trying to put up on social media platforms. If you're not looking to brand yourself solely as a digital marketing, or solely as a professor, well and good, you can talk about anything that you want. You can talk about wellness, you can talk about beauty, you can talk about your journey. Everything works fine. But if you have a specific goal in mind, then it is very essential to draw that line and also adhere to your institution's policies, because today a lot of institutions have their own policies when it comes to using the university's name or the college's name when their staff is putting up content on social media, or they have specific set of hashtags or accounts that they have to tag when they're talking about universities or colleges. So the last one here, we'll be considering ethical considerations. So at the end of the day, it is very essential to maintain that professional boundaries with your students, with your audience, especially because you are human being, and your consumers are human beings as well. So it is very essential to see them as your audience more than seeing them as your friend and sharing everything and anything with them on social media platforms. So it is important to draw that line. It is important to safeguard what is yours, that is copyrights, intellectual property, because once your content hits the web, it's not private anymore. It's not something that you created. So it is very very important for you to have your own intellectual property or copyright things set up for yourself, especially if you're a graphic designer, especially if you're into designing and you want to put up your artwork online. So here are a few examples. So this is Tim Campbell. He was one of my professors here at York University. So he, like, apart from being an educator, he also works as a marketing consultant for multiple agencies, uh, and he teaches so many other classes online as well, apart from just teaching at York University. So here are few things, or the kind of ways that he has branded himself as an educator, as a marketing consultant. So here in the first slide, in the first image that you see, if you see, you have view shop option here. Like, he has commercialized his platform in a way that he has put, like, here, can you see my cursor where I'm pointing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, if you see, he has come up with guides, how-to guides, or basically templates for students to use or for agencies to use for very minimal amount of money, $5 and $10. So that is one way you can actually monetize from whatever you do on a daily basis. So you can put up, a template for lesson plans. You can put up a template for uh, to make, for example, an onboarding checklist, or or a social media checklist or strategy checklist, and you can just put it on social media platforms like as a downloadable content. So when people make the payment, they automatically get to download it. Like, you're getting paid for all your time's worth here. At the same time, people see you as somebody or something that they can trust in. And so apart from just talking about digital marketing or social media marketing here, he also talks about his own journey. He talks about how how he went from working in an agency to becoming an instructor, into becoming becoming a marketing consultant or a content creator on Instagram. So like if you just scroll through his profile, like you can look it up later, you will see there's a specific storytelling that he has stuck to here. So he started off talking about his journey working at an agency, and then how he got into teaching, and then how he started getting clients, and then how he started you know promoting himself on multiple platforms. So this is an example of educator branding if you're looking to brand yourself uh, as an educator on social media platforms. And this is personal branding. So here, her name is Tarushi. She is one of my colleagues. So she quit her 9 to 5 job, and currently she freelances and also works as a consultant. At the same time, she is a lifestyle and a travel blogger. So she hitchhikes all over the country, talking to people, exploring different cultures, exploring different food, meeting new people, hosting new events. So she here basically there's not one thing that she's sticking to. She talks about a lot of things. She talks about how difficult it is for a woman in India to be a solo traveler, the kind of prejudice that she faces, the kind of difficulties that she encounters on a daily basis. And she also gives tips to um, so new solo travelers who are or people who are into traveling or who are probably planning on traveling solo, as to like especially in terms of what is it that you have to pack, must have essentials if you are a solo traveler. What are the places that you can visit in this particular place? So it's a mix of mix of her journey, um, and her career, uh, and also she talks about stories that she encounters along the way, like, especially stories of people that she meets. So this is another example. So now coming to trends. So what is it that we look what are the current what is it that is trending on social media right now? So what are the trends to look out for? So video dominance, everybody knows how addictive and how how addictive short form content is basically. uh, Mainly here I would be talking about TikTok and Instagram reels. So that 30 to 90-second video, you spend so much time, you start off seeing that we'll just watch one reel, and then you end up scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You consume a lot of content. Before you know it, you've spent hours on social media platforms consuming content. So the short span of the videos are what makes it so addictive. So yes. And ephemeral content is basically content that disappears after a certain point of time. It could be your Instagram stories, your WhatsApp stories, your snap, the snaps that you send on Snapchat, or Snapchat stories, or LinkedIn stories, Facebook stories. So the short duration of the content is what makes it more exciting and more exciting for the audience, because they'll because it makes them want to engage with you, because they would not be seeing the same content tomorrow. So it's the fear of missing out that acts as the key feature here. So yes, so the short lived content actually surprisingly has more engagement rate. So it is very essential for you to put up stories as often as possible, and also engage with people who reply to all your stories. Social commerce is basically buying things on social media platforms. So ever since Instagram came up with the shopping feature, social commerce has grown tremendously. So today, Meta has come up with features where you can buy things online without having to leave the platform at all. So including the payment gateway, everything is on social media platform. So for example, if you have ever interacted with brands on WhatsApp, with WhatsApp Pay available right now, you can buy things on WhatsApp without having to visit their website, without having to uh, go anywhere, because WhatsApp today has brands today have their catalogs, like their product catalogs with the description, with how to use everything on WhatsApp itself. So all the information that you need to know about the product, about the brand, is on the platform. So you can buy everything on social media platforms. And especially if you want to offer something, if you want to offer say freelance services or anything, it is, you can set up your own WhatsApp business accounts, you can put up your portfolio, you can put up you can actually put up a calendar where people can schedule calls with you, and you can take it ahead from there. So social commerce has revolutionized how people buy things. Virtual reality or augmented reality. So most of you know that Meta recently launched its VR or AR goggles in association with Ray-Ban very recently. And uh, like the main purpose of that particular VR goggles uh, is to increase your screen time, increase your content consumption while while not using your phones at all. So if you've ever tried on VR or AR goggles, you will see that everything that you see on phone is right in front of, is literally in front of you when you're wearing those goggles. So it increases the amount of time that they spend on these social media platforms, while decreasing like when you're wearing goggles, there's nothing that you can do. I mean, you don't have to use your hands, everything just happens. There's there's technology that tracks your eyeball movements, which acts as swipe, which acts as your touch. So this is trending right now, and a lot of brands are actually thinking about implementing this in their branding efforts as well. So AI and chatbots, uh, most of the companies, most of the brands are using AI chatbots for AI chatbots just to keep up with the amount of people that engage with them. So for example, if you see, if you start for example, once you've built decent number of following, say 10K to 50K, you will end up receiving a lot of DMs in one day, and it is not humanly possible to respond to each and every one of them. So you have an AI chatbot integrated with your account, and it takes care of it for you. Um, and coming to user generated content, so user generated content and influencer marketing are huge right now, because like in traditionally a few years ago, people were depending on big influencers on social media platforms or celebrities to endorse their products. And today, with more and more people using social media platforms and understanding how marketing actually works, brands have started using, or brands have started collaborating with micro influencers or nano influencers who have uh, less number of following but more dedicated number of following, meaning they don't have any chatbots, they don't have, or they don't make content just for the sake of making money. So they create content about the brand, they're honest with their reviews, be it negative or positive. So user generated content is another type of, like user generated content in influencer marketing are um, another type of content that is really trending on social media platforms right now. So what are the challenges that we are facing as consumers, as people looking to brand on social media platforms, and as marketers? So the first and foremost one is misinformation and disinformation. So there is with the influx of content on the platforms on the web, it is very hard to differentiate between what is right and what is wrong. So a lot of platforms today have come up with community guidelines where if you're putting out something that is wrong or false, your content automatically gets flagged. And today people have the opportunity or authority to report the content if say if someone's trying to impersonate somebody, or if someone's putting up content that is absolutely wrong. So one of the best examples for this is how Meta came up with uh, tackling misinformation about COVID. So even today, if you write something about COVID on your posts, be it on your stories, on your feed, or on your reel, that little bubble of content, like um, bubble comes up saying, hey, you might be violating community guidelines with this, or you have to be absolutely sure about the content that you're putting up about COVID-19, so your content doesn't get flagged. And privacy concerns, again, we see a lot of people getting their accounts hacked, and a lot of people hacking other people's accounts. So it is important to have a very strong authentication when it comes to your social media platforms. It's important to have strong passwords and not share them with anybody, not use generic passwords, and also not click on or not engage with, especially if you have open accounts, do not engage with people who you do not know, or click on links, or like sus or uh, like links that you don't know what is on the other end. So content moderation. So with heaps of content coming out every single day, every single second, it is very hard for people to moderate the kind of content that they are consuming, or say your kids are consuming, or your students are consuming. So the most respectful thing to do in terms of content moderation is like limiting screen time, or uh, have a like make a note of the kind of content that you consume, and see if this is something that you really want to, or if you want to change up what is happening on social media platform for you. And yes, cyberbullying or online harassment, especially if you have open accounts, this is something that you're automatically prone to, however wrong it is. So like how the saying goes, if you want to do something, you have to put up with people talking bad things about you. So here on social media platforms, they literally send you bad things in your DM, or comment very very bad things. So you can report them, you can block them. So it is important to not get so hung up about it, because this kind of thing happens to everybody, and at some point you just get used to it. However, and it is a very big challenge that people are facing right now. And algorithm changes, me personally as a marketer, we hate it, because like with every small change in algorithm, we have to revamp our entire content strategy or entire marketing strategy on that particular platform. So it is a huge challenge, and especially if you want to start marketing yourself on these platforms, it is essential to be on top of what changes each and every platform is rolling out, like new updates with the app, new updates with the platform. So yeah, that's all. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please ask me.
Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful session. It was indeed an exceptional presentation. Now we'll have the question and answer session. If anyone has anything to add or ask, you can either unmute yourself and ask, or make use of the chat box.
Chat box. No questions.
Hi, Shilpa.
Hi, man.
Yeah, it was a great presentation, Shilpa. I mean, I was totally taken aback by so much of different, content in terms of so many different ways of strategizing on social media, and especially as educators, we take a very laid-back attitude on promoting ourselves. But in today's time, networking and connecting ourselves with students, with other stakeholders in the education sector, has become so very important I was looking into that idea of creating a calendar, social calendar. So there are various apps, I believe, or I do not know, HubSpots and so on and so forth. Can you, a little bit elaborate on how we can go about creating these calendars with the help
Yes.
of some apps or things like that?
So, like, if you're just starting out in social media marketing, you don't really need an external app because those, for example, apps like Hootsuite or HubSpot, they're extremely expensive. So, like, if you're just starting out, if you want to experiment with what works best for you, if you want to have a specific calendar that you want to focus on, like you can just use a simple Excel sheet with with say the type of content that you are trying to put out, and what is the copy that you would be using, what is the visual content that goes along with the copy, and what is the CTA that you're looking for. And then today, Meta for Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp has its own, scheduling app called as Creator Studio. So, like once you have all your creatives ready, so you can just, you know, put like log into Creator Studio using the same credentials as your social media platforms, and you can just schedule posts online. Like you can upload your like pictures or video, and then you can add your uh, caption, your hashtags, etc., everything, and then you can schedule it for whenever you want.
Okay, okay. So we can do it ahead of time, and as per the schedule, it will keep on updating. Oh.
It'll get posted by itself, and you can do it, I think, like 3 to 4 months in advance. So you're
Oh.
going to explore the content.
Oh, great. Another thing, I mean, we keep on seeing this phenomenon of going viral, right, for every small thing. So now you have worked behind the scenes as to how to make things viral. So can you just shed some light on this concept of, how to go about this
Yeah.
making things viral?
So, like going, you see, sometimes you might put a lot of effort, a month worth of effort onto making something go viral, but it doesn't happen. So going, you cannot make things go viral. It just happens. So if you want your content to go viral or to be for people to consume it, or you have to be extremely relevant as possible. Today memes are relevant, or a lot of videos and audios are are viral, mostly because people can relate to it. So if the relevancy is higher, then it has the most chance of getting shared among people and then eventually becoming viral. So there's no one single tactic that you can use to make things viral. I can hear you. You're on mute, ma'am.
Yes, yes. So it is organic, you were saying, and it's not manufactured.
No, going viral, you cannot manufacture it. So it is as organic as uh, social media platform gets. So
Yeah. Any other questions if anyone has?
um,
Question in the chat box.
how is measuring people engagement in an OTT? So when it comes to OTT platforms, they have their own analytics. They have their own data that they use. So like OTT platforms, they don't really come under social media marketing. So like if you are for example, say uh, you have a channel on not a channel. So suppose say you work in Netflix and you want to see how a particular movie is doing, or how a particular TV show is doing. You have your own metrics that you consider. For example, the amount of people that are watching it, say per minute, or how many people have put it into their wish list or watch later list, or how many people have actually started the show or actually started the movie. So there are different metrics that people focus on. So I have not really worked with OTT platforms, so I cannot really speak to it. But there are different.
Alright.
But if you wanna talk advertising OTT platform, how you see ads on uh like Hotstar or Disney IPL matches, called programmatic. It's called, yeah. Can you just please? I can't hear my own. Okay. So it's called programmatic advertising, and you have your own. So there are different tools like DSPs that you use to place your ads in between those matches or in between the content. So you again measure it in terms of what your end goal is. Sometimes your end goal is could just be to create brand awareness. So in terms of that, you, if it's brand awareness, you measure it using, say, engagement rate, or your how many impressions you've got, and how many people you have reached, your impressions, or how many people have actually clicked on the link. But if your main or end goal is conversion, then how many people have bought something that you're selling, or how many people have come to your website, put something in cart, etc. So that's how you measure programmatic advertising or ads when you see on multiple platforms. Any other question?
There is no more questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, Shilpa. Shilpa, can you elaborate on how this social search engine optimization and search engine marketing works?
Okay. So search engine optimization or SEO is uh, like a is a type of digital marketing technique that you use to rank your content on top of search engine. So talking about search engine, we'll just consider Google here. So for anything to be on top, so what Google does is it goes through every single piece of content that you've put on your website or on your web pages, and ranks for relevance. So for example, if someone's looking for, say, best universities in Bangalore, if Reva University is using that particular keyword, it could be best university or best university in Bangalore, like the whole keyword. Then, as and when people start, you know, using, like, if people start looking for best universities in Bangalore, and we at the university use that particular keyword on our website, like in the proper places, not just anywhere, in your H1 H2 tags, in your title tags, in your meta description, and in the basically in your web content, then Google has its own indexing or crawling. What it does is it crawls through the content, it makes note of the keywords that you have used, and it indexes those keywords. And once people start looking for you using those particular keywords, your ranking usually starts coming on top. So it does not happen overnight, it takes a lot of time. Search engine optimization is a long game. So there's no instant result that you can get. So it what happens is it eventually comes on top. So for example, say the university's website organically today ranks at, say, 20, and a month down the lane, when people start looking at it, when people start looking using best universities in Bangalore, and they end up clicking at Reva University's website, so Google will understand, okay, there's a reason why people are coming to Reva University's website, even though it is ranked at the bottom. So that's how it climbs up the ladder and ranks on top. So that's how search engine optimization works. And search engine marketing is the paid way of doing SEO. So what you do in search engine marketing is you market a specific landing page, or you market a specific website or web page. For example, say your product page, or your admissions portal, or your program page, and then you market it on Google. So since you're paying for it, you have like the possibility of you ranking on top is higher. And here it goes with bidding. So whoever is bidding the amount of money highest amount of money, it also depends on duration, the kind of keywords you use. So if you have good amount of money to spend on search engine marketing, then it is most likely that your ad will rank on top on Google search page.
Thank you. Thank you for that answer. And also now it's echoing. Okay. Anyways, so now we are into social media, and there is a lot of content on social media, and now all the products and services, those advertisements are also there in our social media pages, and now it has come to WhatsApp also. Don't you think we are becoming too commercial, and we are also becoming too shopaholic on that? Uh,
Yeah,
so,
that
is there
is,
any way to avoid this, like for as a user?
there is no way to avoid it, but like mainly because that's how these platforms make their money. Because Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp doesn't charge you anything to use their subscription, or like they don't have any subscription model. So like they're monetizing by placing ads, and it's not different than magazines using magazines placing ads on their, say, cover page, or on their centerfold, or on their back page, or newspapers using specific places for ad placement. So like that is how they make money, and there is no way that we can avoid it. But like if you do want to avoid it, then one thing that I usually do is, whenever I'm online on my laptop, like I don't really log in when I am browsing something on like Google Chrome or something. Because if you're using the same email address on your Google Chrome, and again to like and again you when creating like account on social media platforms, what happens is like the cookie settings. So cookie tracks your cookies basically track your like whatever you're doing on particular website. What is it that you're interested in? What is it that you're searching for? What is it that you're looking for at this point of time? It also listens to what your like a lot of phones have their, like especially Apple, like you use Alexa, you use Siri, so everything gets stored. At the end of the day, you get relevant ads on your social media platforms because of it. So one of the best things to do is to not log in when you're using your search, like when you're using browsers. That way, there's no way cookie can track you on your social media as well. And it would definitely decrease the amount of ads that you get, but not eliminate it completely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Uh, is there any more questions? All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this insightful session. One of the key takeaways for me was that the use of different platform wise marketing to brand ourselves as teachers, which I'll be implementing from today onwards. All right. So, once again, thank you so much for joining us from Canada. I know that you had to put an effort to adjust your time schedule and
Okay.
other things. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks to one and all who had joined the meeting. You will receive a feedback link on our WhatsApp group soon. Please make sure that you fill the feedback form. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you so much for having me.